Hey guys, so I kind of wanted to do a comparison video. And it's pretty simple. Smartwatch versus mechanical watch. And I've had both of these for over 5 years. I think this came out in 2015. So I had this for at least 7 years. And I got this a couple years later, so I've had it probably 5 years. Now I just want to do a couple head-to-heads. And I am wearing a mechanical watch. The Hamilton Khaki King dog bite. Yep, dogs love leather bands. So let's see. You can already see you gotta tap this to, what's that about? You gotta tap it to turn it on. 80 degrees out. Oh, yikes. And there's a bonus, you can see the weather. All these widgets and gadgets, how's it stack up? Now, I guess I'll give you, I wore this for about 2 years straight, like every single day, in an office environment, working. I would work out, do random things, you know, typical life. And yeah, side by side. This is just some cheapo strap I got off Amazon, I think. Or no, maybe this is a Straps Co. Straps Co, not Amazon. Got it off Straps Co. And this is Apple fitness band. Easily swappable. Had too much coffee. But yeah, I wore this every day. Office environment, working out, hiking, biking, all this kind of stuff. I was much more active back then. And this one I got this a couple years later. And I wore it pretty much again for 2 years straight, swapping out the bands. It was pretty accurate. I think when it started it was within 15 seconds a day. Now it's a little off, but still a good watch. Seiko, this is the Sarb033, by the way. They don't actually make this anymore, so, but it is a classic. Watch nerds know all about the Sarb. It is a, I guess, an homage to a Rolex Oyster Perpetual. Much more expensive watch. This one was about $300 when I got it, I believe, maybe $350, somewhere around there. I don't remember where I got this, like what shop, maybe Amazon, I don't know. Can't remember, it was a while ago. But I was very happy with this purchase. Very much worth it at $300. You might be balking at that, saying, oh, $300, that sounds very expensive. I mean, this one right here, I paid $700 for, because I got the stainless steel one. What a rip. Upgrade from aluminum to stainless steel, that's like a $300 difference. Get right, Apple. Get real. And I also had the Milanese whatever mesh loop band, which I lost. $100 for that. I think it went from $600 to $700 because of the band, or maybe it was an extra 50 or something, but I lost it, and now I have this. So I thought it looked pretty cool on the Milanese thing. I don't know if that's actually called Milanese. I think it's just called a mesh bracelet. And Apple just used their Apple language. It's like Starbucks. I don't know, what do they call them? Grandes? Ventis? I don't, what's the other one? I don't know. I just say small. Large. Give me a large coffee. It's like, do you mean a venti? No, I don't mean that. Please shut up. And so yeah, let's do some comparisons. So I want to do a few metrics. I'm not going to do any scoring. I want to say who wins. A lot of people give watch thinness. So the Sarb isn't known for being particularly thin, and the Apple Watch is really not that thin. It's pretty thin considering what's in there, but, and also, oh my God, this is woo. Yeah, tie this. I'm on like a tripod here. Yeah, tie this motherfucker down. And this is a first generation. I got this right when it came out. I was very hip, very on it. I don't know if I would ever buy this again or buy it now. I really didn't know a lot about watches. This was my first like watch I wore every single day, all day. And it was because I'm a techie little nerd. So yeah, this This is my first watch. It got me into watches, got me into getting used to wearing something on my wrist. And then after I got sick of this thing, you know, I wanted a real watch, and this is my first real watch. I have a ton of watches now. I actually got more since I shot my collection video. If you want to watch that one, you can see all the watches I have, plus like 3 or 4 more. So I just continue to keep getting watches. I'm spending too much money on watches, let's be real. Can't justify expense on watches. Can you really? It's jewelry. I could tell the time on my phone. It's male jewelry, but hey, I love watches. I love them. So I'd say thinness. I actually think the Apple Watch wins on this one. The Sarb, and a lot of, depending on the watch. I mean, this is a little bit of a dressier watch. I'll just throw this in here, so why not? The Hamilton Khaki King is actually, I think, a bit thinner than the Apple Watch. I should really have the real numbers, but just as a sight comparison, the Hamilton Khaki King is very comfortable. This is the band it came on. I usually don't wear it on this original band, but Hamilton. I was feeling it today. I was feeling this. So let's just throw that in there. How about 2 versus 1 Apple? Biggest company in the world. You can't handle 2 little watch companies. Can't handle it. Apple. So another versus is the movement. Now obviously this is a computer. This is a mechanical device. No electronics in there. You can wind it, hand winding. Hacking. So the hacking means, if you're not that familiar, it stops. Second hand stops ticking when you pull it out. Actually, this is not the right time. I haven't been wearing this for a little bit, so. But hand winding, hacking has a date function. See the date there? I really like this movement. Finishing is, I mean, it's a $300 watch. I think it's great. I like the exhibition case back. Really like this watch. Wow. You know, every time I come back, I take a break from wearing it, and every time I come back, I'm like, why did I stop wearing this? This thing is so good looking. Whoa, $300. Can you believe it? Anyway, movement on this, it's a computer. That's it. It can do everything a computer can. I think this whole thing with a bunch of apps, it's way too much. Like, I don't need to even receive text on my watch. I found that a little annoying. And run tracking, fitness tracking was useful on this, but after 5 years, it's no longer accurate, and it drains the battery life. Even when this was brand new, it drained the battery life by like 100%. So instead of lasting until 8 p.m., it would last until like 1 p.m. If I put a workout in, if I put 2, God forbid, the thing is dead. This is my main reason why I even upgraded this thing. Well, there's 2 primary reasons. Let's get into complaining now. Get into the complaining portion. 2 primary reasons. Battery life. I had to charge this every day. What a pain in the ass. And if I forgot to charge it, or, you know, it's like, oh shit, I forgot to charge it. I'm going to the airport. Oh God. And then I just don't have the time on my wrist anymore. A little obnoxious. This is a little first world problems, but you know, it's very inconvenient. This one, I pick it up, turn it a few times, set the dime, boom, ready to go. I'm good. Wear this for, and it's automatic. Automatic charging, this mechanical. See that little thing? Automatic. This is also, I'm getting a little obnoxious now. This one's also automatic, by the way. I love the Hamilton Khaki King. And the second reason is the screen thing. See how it keeps turning off? How annoying. Like, it just goes dark. So, like, if you're sitting in a meeting, which I did when I was wearing this at that time in my life, I was in a lot of meetings with my boss and other people, and it was, you know, you don't want to be disrespectful to your boss. People can tell that you're looking at your watch saying, when the fuck am I gonna get out of here? Why am I in this meeting for so long? Why did you bring me in here? Stop. And then you keep looking at your wrists and like, I gotta get out of here. This one you can kind of like slyly sneak a peek. Just get a little sneak in there, sneak that peek, and you can see what time. But here you got a very exaggerated and obviously flick your arm and wrist. It's not enough because the eyes are noticeable enough. Flicking your wrist, it's extremely obvious that you're trying to look at your wrist. And that, I mean, to me, it seems very rude when someone does that, and I don't want to be a rude person, especially, you know, to the person that's deciding your raises, your bonuses, your income. Yeah, so that's a bit of a drawback for me. I actually don't know, haven't even really looked into new Apple Watches. This is the very first one. Maybe it has an always on. I feel like you need an always on. It needs a 2-week battery life minimum and always on, period. And I even say just strip the functions. I mean, there's probably watches like that out there, but this is the most popular, biggest one. And also the fact that the stainless steel, again, this is the complaining section. I'm complaining about everything. The stainless steel is marked up such an incredible amount. This is stainless steel. Stainless steel is not that expensive. I have a Timex that went for $30, stainless steel. Come on. And let's see. I think the aluminum one really looks like crap. Not to offend anyone who has an aluminum Apple Watch. I mean, if I was gonna get an Apple Watch now, I would get the aluminum because it's just it's just stupid to spend that much money on this watch. It's really dumb. And but I mean, this one just looks way better. It actually looks like a freaking watch. The other one looks kind of like a little toy or something. I don't know. I'm talking too much shit about Apple right now, and I don't hate Apple. I'm not one of those Apple haters. I got an iPhone, I got a Mac. I prefer Macs to work on. They're just better operating system, in my opinion, and they're based on the Linux, you know, whatever. Unix, not Linux, Unix. But yeah, I'm not an Apple hater. I just think they need. I feel like the person who made this was a computer guy, a iPhone guy, and not a watch guy. They kind of like the guy who's in charge of the tech and computers and design and stuff. He was the one leading this project, and not someone like they had a guy who knew about watches and was like, "Hey, come give us some advice every once in a while." Like, what the fuck is a watch? Tell me, like, define a watch. It does the. Like, okay, well, let's just put a bunch of other shit in there. I don't care. And then that's how you come up with this. I feel like they didn't really have a passion for watches. Whoever was leading the project on the Apple Watch. I don't know. Maybe it got better. Maybe it's better now, but for movement, I gotta say, this beats a computer on your wrist. I don't need a computer on my wrist, period. Let's go case finishing. Check this out. I honestly think the Sarb wins. I mean, as you can tell, the scratches, I've been wearing this every single day for 2 years. This one has some nicks as well. Not as, I mean, I guess here's the micro scratches. I do think this is well finished. It looks very nice. Ceramic case back. Does look nice, but I don't know. Something about the Sarb, the sapphire crystal. This also has a sapphire crystal. I guess that is part of the price. I have never seen a scratch on the face of this watch. It's pretty incredible. This is what I'm saying. It has like some hallmarks of a watch, sapphire. I mean, the watch guy had to come in. What should we put on it? Sapphire. This one also has sapphire, and I just think there's something so alluring about this watch that the Apple Watch just doesn't have. It doesn't have that. Hamilton, nice looking watch, but I'd say the Sarb better looking. This is another head-to-head of these two. But is the crown signed? Yes. Actually like this crown signing much better. The H, the M, sort of it's embossed and sticks out like that. I don't know, but I think that version, rather than etched in, is it signed? No, just a little black dot. I mean, an Apple logo there might have been cool, but no signed crown. Apple getting cheap. The lume. I'm just going through a list of like qualities I look for in a watch, and obviously I think this does have lume. I don't actually look at this in the dark that often. Yeah, it does have a bit lume. I think the lume's fine on this. But this obviously has the screen brightness, so wins there. But it can be a little obnoxious in a movie theater. I've taken this in the movie many times, and it lights right up like a phone. People are like, stop, turn your fucking phone on. That's all. But yeah. And then water resistance. How's the water resistance? This one has like, what is it? It has 10 bar. This one, what does this one have? 5 bar. Says Seiko wins. Apple Watch. Does it say? I don't think this one actually has a... You're not supposed to swim with this. Oh yeah, I completely forgot. I haven't worn this watch in so long. I forgot you're not supposed to swim with this. And they're like, don't even shower with it. Don't get it wet. Like, you can take a little bit of splashing, a little bit. That's it. A little bit of water, it's done. Water is just lost. That's a big loss right there. I mean, I've had my watch and it started raining. It's a problem. It can break my watch. I'm surprised this watch is still functioning. The water resist must be decent. I'm sure I've gotten this wet at least a little bit. I definitely have never showered because I was a little worried. You pay $700 for something, you're not going to just be like, oh, manufacturer, fuck you, I'm going to do what I want. And then it's broken. Like, idiot. So yeah, that is a loss. I'd say a decent loss there. Even the Hamilton Khaki King has 5 bar. So let's get some wrist shots and talk about the accuracy and how easy this is to put on, band swappability. This is relatively easy to put on. It's not a huge deal. It's kind of a cool little function there. Accuracy, obviously the Apple Watch wins big time. It's synced to your phone, so it's never... See, this is what I'm talking about, the wrist flick thing. How annoying. This is annoying me, and I've had this on for 3 seconds. I'm so used to mechanical, just... Now I can't... Now this is a big piece of glass on my wrist. Excellent. That's just what I want. Thanks, Apple. So this is how you swap out a band. It's like this. You press this and then slide it out. This is actually too small for this watch. But yeah, it's very easy to swap out bands on an Apple. It's upside down. Oh, cool. This is a new style reverse though. But that's another thing about Apple Watch is now there's a lot of bands for it. So I mean, there's a lot of bands for regular watches, so that's cool too. But when I first got it, it was it's a very limited band pool. So it's better now, but back then, much less so. And that's also another nice thing about this upside down watch is there's infinite, well, there's not infinite, but there's a lot of different watch faces, and you can set the colors, so you can really match this with a lot of different bands, I guess, and it looks good. With the stainless steel, that's the only one you can have the bracelet on, the metal bracelet, which I do have. But I don't have the Apple version because it's like $200 fucking for some reason. I got the knockoff on Amazon, like 20 bucks. Can you believe that? But yeah, it's good wrist swappability. I don't know. And then for a standard watch, mechanical watch, now most watches or most bands I get have this, the quick release. So swapping bands is pretty easy, probably just as easy as swapping an Apple Watch. Maybe like very slightly harder, but not a big deal. This one does not have quick release, so you really have to get in there. You can see where I pried the little pry bar thing in there and try to get it loose. So a little bit more work. Dog bites. Dogs. And it's a little more work, a little more difficult for different bands, but still not a huge deal. You will need the watch remover tool to swap out bands, which is a little bit prohibitive, and a lot of watches come on bands like this rather than quick release. This is a band I got specially, so I ordered it online, not specially. I mean, it's not that special to order shit online, but yeah, most of the bands I have nowadays are quick release, so I can, and most of them are 20mm, so I just swap them out. I can swap these bands, switch them, swap them. mix and match, you know. So I don't think there's a real, I think it's probably a tie for ease of customization and things like that. Got this funky little watch band here, pretty nifty. But yeah, I'd say tie. And as far as accuracy goes, I think the Apple Watch obviously wins hands down. This one was about plus or minus 15 seconds a day when I first got it, and now it is about 1 minute a day. This is 5 years later. Yeah, my hair's crazy. 5 years later, that's why I'm not on camera. 1 minute a day. That's quite a lot, actually, and I love this watch, but it is a bit inaccurate. This one's more like 6 seconds a day. It's like much more accurate. This is also a much newer watch. I've had this maybe 6 months or so, and I also think the movement on here is probably a bit better. So and also I've done no maintenance on this, which is a big deal, but the longevity, like the battery life on this, and the fact that it's going to die, I think, much sooner. Sure, it's super accurate, but this will last. Basically, I can always keep this on. It self-charges. I just have to adjust the time every day or every other day. Bit of a pain, but so yeah, this is not so great at accuracy. A minute a day. I've been wearing this all day. My Hamilton Khaki King. And functionality, I get a nice date, not bad. Here I just get a date. Here I get anything you could ever want to know in the universe. So functionality, I mean, can't beat that. You get endless apps. I think the weather widget is absolutely the most useful part about this. And if there was a watch, and I think there are watches out there like this, that just has a small, like the date, just a tiny little 87 degrees, 70 degrees, you know, just simple, doesn't take too much away, and it would have to like blend in very well, because I think it could really ruin a watch. Like if this had a tiny little screen on it right there, it would kind of bite into the design a bit, I'll be honest, but it would be very useful, and I like that. So if I was going to design a watch, which I just may one day, I would like that as an option on some models. I mean, I think this is so classy. You can't really mess with the tried and true classic watch. And I mean, the last factor between these watches is just, let's get a wrist shot. This is the Seiko Sarb. God, what a beauty. I mean, it's for modern watches, I'd say, especially a modern American style, it might be small. You see guys walking around with freaking tanks on their wrists. I find that a little ridiculous, but hey, I think that's a great looking watch. Classic, just classic. And so that is the final factor. Well, just how hip, and just sort of that, you know, undescribable allure. And I think the Sarb wins hands down when compared to a Apple Watch. Apple Watches seem so commonplace. You see them everywhere now. Every other person you see has an Apple Watch. And when I first got this, it was a lot more rare, and people were like, ooh, is that an Apple Watch? I mean, that's kind of a douchey reason to get it, but you know, it was kind of nice. Feel like I'm the front runner. Hey, I'm one of the first people. I literally got it right when it came out, and not a lot of people had them back then, so it was kind of cool to like, flex on my Apple Watch. And not a lot of people had the stainless steel. People still don't. I see mostly the aluminum one out there, but the fact that it's more commonplace, it's just like not as. There's not a lot of. I've never seen another person with a Sarb033, and in general, I don't see people in public with even like a Hamilton Khaki King. It seems like such a niche market and segment that in public it's a lot of you know, Rolexes, or honestly, if I see anyone with a nice watch, it's probably gonna be a Rolex. I saw Patek Philippe in the wild once. It's crazy. Couldn't believe it. It was the Nautilus, and it was insane. Couldn't believe that guy was walking around with that watch, and yeah, I mean, or it's like you know, Fossil, or fucking, you know, what's another fashion watch? There's a lot of fashion watches. I've seen movement watches. Jesus. So I'd say the hip factor. Most mechanical watch brands are gonna be, I'd say, head and shoulders above. Apple Watch is just so mainstream now. Even with this funky little, I like this band. It's very weird, funky. It's just like $10. It makes it look kind of cool than just a typical plain strap. So yeah, I like playing with the straps. Yeah, overall, I'd say the Apple Watch is probably a much more useful utility tool, but for my personal taste, having to charge it every day, the fact that it dies sometimes by like 4 p.m., it's just really kind of a gadget, and you have to kind of buy a new one every few years just to keep the battery life and the fitness tracking and updates on the no, it's more of a gadget on your wrist. It's a phone on your wrist. It's not so much a watch, and I think mechanical watches are still around for a reason. These things are so old. The quartz didn't kill it. The smartwatch is not going to kill it. People still love mechanical watches. I still love it. You never see this part when it's on your wrist when you're using it, and sometimes you just turn it over, you take it off, and you admire the ingenuity. It's like a tiny machine. It's beautiful. And this one's Swiss made. Hamilton. I love mechanical watches, and I think they win overall. I think they're the winner here. Smartwatches, get out of here. But a lot of people do have smartwatches, and I can kind of understand why. Kind of. I mean, I bought one. I used it for 2 years, but that was 7 years ago, and today I feel like I did wear this for the past couple days and found it overbearing and annoying, and I just kind of wanted to get back to my Hamilton Khaki King, back to my Sarbs, and there they are. Classic, just classic. So yeah, mechanical watches, they win.